Good evening. This is the Lion of Legend, and welcome to New Eye Cycle. Penumbra. Do I just choose? Okay, go through to the left. Tender morning sunlight slips away from my legs as I enter the administrative building and gives way to uniform fluorescent light. Still drowsy, I look at the office desks as if peering through a window from inside the darkness of sleep. It does make it feel more like a world. Her eyes pin me down from an oblique angle. From behind red-rimmed glasses, overlaid with the reflection of old public sector developed database software, she browses through my many problems with surgical professionalism. Clicks and scrolls reverberates across the high ceilings, the distant whir of a photocopier. Dear, that's the professor's responsibility. It was their job to sign up, you know. She continues her busy work, my answer totally unnecessary. It's obvious that I failed at whatever I was supposed to do. I'm gonna talk to him and see if we can get it fixed right now. I follow her up the staircase to the second floor. She puts her hand on my shoulder as she peeks into the office, then knocks on the door basically at the same time as she walks in. This is going to cost me a favor or two. Oh well. Her impassioned attitude makes me feel a sort of warmth inside. Standing in the corridor feels like unstable ground. Too many eyes that might turn towards me. The permanent alertness that even a mild conflict requires. I hear her voice filtered through the tile-covered corridor. The shadow of a gesture sweeping through the half-open door. I'm not the type to be chased. Ever eager to please and get along as simply as possible, sitting in a corner, breathing a sigh of relief when I'm not being perceived. I'm never the center of attention. At most, the consolation prize of some loser who has given up greater trophies. University life is mediated by parties, which I am at least given the courtesy of being invited to. As far as I know, black boxes that host an unknown mechanism or rule set from which hookups, drama, friendships spring forth. An inseparable group of 4 girls who will support each other unwaveringly. A drunken hookup that ends in marriage, and with distinct lack of self-examination sails sweetly through life anyway. An enduring friendship born of heinous crime and its cover-up. The house stands in shadow. Inside, the students warmly talk over each other, in the dim light of a flexo lamp pointed at a wall. Shitty streaming service playlist music plays out of a laptop. Did you hear what happened to his sister? Look, I didn't, and I don't want to know. That sounds like you do know. I don't want to know. The entire scene might be an ochre frame, floating in the deep of night, in the scopes of some other loner. I diligently point my eyes at some conversation. Alcohol slows me down, makes me less sensitive, less likely to get scared off like a cat. Better at objectifying people. At some point, I just look at what I like. Short hair, big glasses, has opinions about art. I'm not one to chase either. I know it is expected of my mellow character, and I'm unlikely to step beyond. That is not to say I do not sometimes wish to indulge, to possess, to force feed. To force the hand of fate at a turn of a conversation, or a slightly too long moment of random eye contact. To have my hand taken lightly, and as if in a draft of air pickup speed. Look through my eyes and see. I cherish these banal memories. These compartmentalized units of desire. It should be unnecessary to tell you anymore. So, do you like it? What? What you were talking about earlier. You sounded really enthusiastic. What? Oh, Sorry. You're fine. And honestly, yeah, everyone should read it. Flashes of light, noisy, loud darkness. A different type of oblivion. To be in the world and not a part of it. I have enjoyed my time as a ghost. Always a tangential member of any group. Giving up very little of myself even to the people I deeply admire. Never enough to be regarded, barely ever remembered. Which suits me just fine, as the observer. Sitting in my balcony, I get lost in a reverie. Everything is full of so much joy. Things are alive without me. In my own little room, time passes in a less complicated way. Trains of thoughts loop at my own leisure, details handpicked from the haphazard buffer of life. Your hands in the orange sunlight, eyes looking away, snippets of your voice. It's easy for me to feed an obsession when I want to, but in this case I'm mostly safe. Odd as it may sound, there is no love here. A wish to become, to steal. I wonder, can I go through those other doors? Whoa. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. What is this? Let's see. Wikipedia. Widdershins urban legend. Culture low importance. Huh. Horror, skepticism, mythology, video games, a commons. Okay. Widdershins, creepypasta. Everything is redacted. 404 file not know your meme. Fail. Okay. Is this 4chan? It's not like it matters on a board as slow as this one. I swear I've seen half these screenshots in old threads. I don't even mind an ARG if it's a good one, but this just feels low effort. It's a habit of life. People come to enjoy things, then move on from them, and then they appear again in a different form. The internet is kind of the same way, but for attention-seeking and hoaxes. I wonder if OP is still here. I like it. Obviously a hoax, but it's still kind of relaxing. If you made it into a full game, I bet a lot of people would pick it up. That said, I doubt any ClearNet Games portal is still interested in amateur crap like this. It's true, but it's kind of sad. Each day, the few sites I visit feel more and more like abandoned malls. This place is no exception. Category bullshit, and now we're on Wayback Machine, it looks like. So this screenshot I know I saw on the page where you download this game. So I was a little surprised when I didn't see it in the first play through, first loop, but now I see, okay. You know that thing I was looking for, Forsaken. Okay. Entries on consciousness. I think I finally found a lead, or at least someone who remembers it too. Okay, there's some sort of story being told here. Something must have happened at this party, or gathering, or whatever it was. What the fuck are you talking about? Is this one of those ancient internet things, trolling or whatever? Dude, if you're trolling me, no joke, I will kill you. Why are you so mean to me? Because I know you're wasting my time with more stupid shit, lol. It's not, this is for real, okay? What the hell? Fine. I'll hear you out, yes. But I'm kinda busy right now. You mind if we walk and talk? Not at all. So what's this game about? Well, it's more the story surrounding it that I'm interested in. Nobody has any clue what the game is actually like, just theories. Oh, it's creepypasta shit. Yeah. I didn't even think it was real, until I found something mysterious. You know how I love to find random open directories, right? Holy shit. Are you telling me this is a bigger score than that one filled with meatpacking plant images? Uh-huh. No, nothing will ever top that. Okay, so what's up with the game then? Alright, so first of all, did you read through the literature I sent yesterday? The literature. Did you? No, not really. Sorry. Ugh. To be fair, I was reading some of it just now. Lies. I was. Okay, so the short version you need to understand what's going on. Is basically the idea that selfhood as we know it is more or less totally contingent. What? The singular I is only a recent development in human psychology, created by very specific factors. What's this got to do with gaming, nerd? I'm getting there, okay? You know Julian James, right? Yeah, or, well, in the sense I read about him on the fucking internet. Not any of his actual books or whatever. He's some psych crank like John Lilly or Wilhelm Reich, right? Basically, yes. His main thesis was that in their early days, humans did not have distinct selves. Instead, they had two parts to their mind. One was vocal, a part of the brain that would give commands, and another part that would literally hear these commands and obey them. Hot. One part of the mind instructing another part. Introspection and self-understanding didn't really exist yet. People just heard these hallucinations and did what they told them to. That's why if you look at ancient Greek books like the Iliad or even the Bible, everyone is getting commands from the gods constantly. They would attribute their own mental hallucinations to divine beings. Ancients Greek, fuck you. Yeah, there's a ancients, not ancient. Listen, I'm getting to something important. Okay, but isn't this, like I said, 70s psych crank nonsense? How would such a massive biological change happen to our brains in such a short period of time? That's the thing most people misunderstand. This wasn't a biological shift, it was cultural. As Bronze Age civilizations fell, the challenges of the new societies they were to create became too much. This split mind became burdensome. And thus selfhood was basically a mental illness created to adapt to this new way of life. With it came introspection, new forms of creativity, new ways to deal with a different mode of living. But there are still remnants of the old styles of thinking, schizophrenia being the obvious example. Right. But there are more examples, ones not as stigmatized by the biopolice, religious communities that claim to hear God, etc. Actually, fun fact, in cultures where hallucinations are treated as having special knowledge or whatever, schizophrenics do way better than in societies where it's stigmatized. Are you vindicating yourself or something, LOL? Shut the fuck up. I already told you I have DID. That's not schizophrenia. Sorry. Couldn't resist. So, what does this have to do with anything? That's what the game is for. What? Think about it. Things have changed so quickly in the past few years. The internet has become more and more streamlined. For what purpose? Is this another DARPA DoD OSINT alphabet soup lecture? No? Okay, well, kinda. I don't even know. But, at this point, I've spent so much of my time in this other world, and I can feel something big shifting. It's everywhere. Even beyond the ClearNet sites you can only browse with an ID now. The commodification, the gentrification, it hit every community I was a part of a long time ago. Something has to give. Our minds might have to change again. You still didn't answer my question. Where does the game come in? No one knows for sure. It's either a harbinger of the next stage, or it's an inoculation against the changes that are already happening. Well, only one way to find out. Yeah, Guess so. Shit. What is it? You were taking this pretty seriously, huh? I mean, yeah. Am I acting crazy or? A little bit. I can never tell how seriously you believe all the shit you tell me anyway. Wow. I mean, isn't that kind of the dynamic of our friendship? I'm gonna finally check this out, okay? See you later, dude. Bye. I never heard from him again, obviously. At the time, I thought he was just going on one of his typical ramblings, not serious. He was always half curious about conspiracy theories, unsolved mysteries, outsider arc, parapolitics, the detritus of the internet. But it felt like something we could share together, just to pass the time. I think maybe he liked that sort of stuff because it reminded him of himself. It was a sort of way to feel better about his life, to resurrect things that had been just as forgotten and thrown to the curb. A kind of digital hoarding. If you ask me, I thought that was the whole point of philosophy and psych anyway, to feel superior to other people. I can describe it cutely only in hindsight. At the worst times, he felt sort of smug, explaining all this complicated shit to me. I resented him a little for that. I don't know if there was something to what he said, but maybe I've already changed without noticing it. I'm more like him now. I spend more time remembering things, looking back on old websites, finding old games, old software. Wondering what these people are up to now. Wondering forever. I'm standing outside the department computer room. More than the bustle of the lower floors, this is the part of the building that most reminds me of the people who used to be here. My tendency has always been to analyze. I always had this fantasy of unfettered observation, of quiet omnipresence. The idea that it was possible to understand someone completely from a distance and from habits. Incidental observations trace the overall trajectory of their life. I remember watching this brash-looking guy typing away in some ancient-looking chat app in the late afternoon. Most of the other staff had gone home already. For some reason, it felt almost impossible for me to understand his vibe. At the same time, it felt so obvious that I could just as easily become a similar sort of weird. I never said a word. I wonder where he is. Do I Cycle? A story by Van Dinner, Agatha Crystals, music by Agatha Crystals, Windowpane by Kate Bagenzo, Domino Club Forever. That was a very interesting way to tell a story. This is definitely a kind of game that's sort of making me think here. I do get the sense that the protagonist here is kind of explaining, I guess, loneliness over time. Maybe they were so caught up in just expanding their career or just so wrapped into game development that they didn't care about anything else, and now time has passed and so many people have just kind of disappeared from their life, and it's to the point that even they're thinking about people that they could have said hello to and they didn't, now they're on their own. But I guess even in the beginning of this story, they've probably felt on their own too, just by their narrative of the party that they were at, and even that initial co-worker interaction. But when you look into the conversation that they were having with that other person in the chat room regarding the realization of consciousness and how that's in the grand scheme of things, still a relatively new concept that's being understood. And the guys basically blew it off for, what does that have to do with a video game? I'm sure I'm missing definitely more things to unpackage in this narrative, in this story. I'm not going to try to depack it all here, but maybe those who are watching this video, perhaps you could leave your opinion of this game in the comments section. I would love to hear it. What do you think I missed? What do you think I'm not saying? What do you think stands out? What stood out in this story to you? And what was your understanding of this? I would definitely love to hear that. Anyways, if you did like this video, go ahead and leave it a like, leave a comment, share the video, perhaps even subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. So have a good night. Also, this song is a bop, by the way. I really like it.